코메아 사우디아라비아 거점기지 이태식 전문위원입니다.
Hello everyone, I'm Taesik from KOMEA. Today I'm going to talk about Korean manufacturers' strategy to enter the Saudi Arabian market. First, I'd like to talk about introduction of Saudi Arabia, and then I will tell you projects and regulations and laws, and then finally the strategies. Saudi Arabia has the second largest land in the region. Their neighboring countries include Iraq and Jordan. The official name of the country is Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Its capital city is Riyadh. Its religion is Islam. And weather, during summer, the temperature goes up to 32 to 34 degrees Celsius. Saudi Arabia is one of the largest oil exporters. It has the fifth largest natural gas reserves in the world. The country also has rich minerals, and it is active in developing mines. It has deep interest in agriculture. In the southwest region, vegetables, fruits, palm fruits are being produced. In the northern region, farm development has been active, including potato farms. It also has the world's largest olive farm in Al Jaf. It was recorded in the World Book of Guinness. More than about 70% of the population is under 30, so it is a very young country. And agricultural water comes from offshore. Next, let me briefly tell you the political situations in Saudi Arabia. On surface, Saudi Arabia is pro-American. It is having joint military exercise with the U.S. It is also cooperating with Russia, and it is also a member of OPEC. It is working on the price stability of oil. Next, the relationship between Saudi Arabia and Korea. Korea is one of the 11 overseas markets designated by Saudi Arabia's tourism office. And Korea has Saudi Arabia's overseas office of tourism of Saudi Arabia. And Korean pop culture is very popular in the country, and the entertainment company SM has been working with companies in Saudi Arabia to spread the K-pop culture. And Saudi Aramco has been doing business in Korea, and the two countries' relationship has been friendly. And 30% of Korea's oil import comes from Saudi Arabia, and the cooperation between the countries is increasing in national defense and medicine. Now, let me move on to Saudi Arabia projects. There are some nuclear power plants project. Makin, as you just heard, is a joint venture between Saudi Aramco and Hyundai Heavy Industries. And there's another joint venture between Busan and Saudi Aramco. Another project is Spark Margin Emerald. And Red Sea Development Project is a tourism project. And 29 artificial lands will be built to promote tourism there near the Red Sea. Now the country is building a gas plant, and Hyundai Heavy Industries and Samsung Heavy Industries are participating in the project. Next is IMI Shipyards. It has 4 zones. Zone A is for MRO, Zone B is for technical partner, Zone V is OSPs. For example,
신조술도급 2024년 상반기 준공을 목표로
and Zone C
현장 및
will be completed
가전
by the
공사가 진행됩니다.
first half of 2024.
세
For
번째
example,
프로젝트는 마틴입니다. 마틴
the third
프로젝트는
project is
현대
Martin.
기술기를 현지에서 조립 생산하는
This is about assembling and producing Hyundai Heavy Industries engines in Saudi Arabia.
2025년 국제 엔진 현지 조립을 목표로
It has a target date, which is 2025. So by 2025, McKean plans to assemble Hyundai Heavy Industries engines locally. Next project is NEOM. NEOM means New Future. The budget for the construction is 150 billion US dollars. The project area is 26,500 square kilometers, 44 times larger than Seoul City. And the major power comes from natural gas and another renewable energy source. Currently, the construction is ongoing. Trojana, Oxagon, and the Line are the three major project areas. Trojana is for tourism and sports complex, and Oxagon is for industrial complex, offshore industrial complex. And the Line, specifically the mirror line, is about construction of residential areas. Next project is a nuclear power plant project. The Saudi Arabian government is planning to build as many as 16 nuclear power plants between 2020 and 2025. The estimated cost is $80 billion, and the first nuclear power plant will cost $10 billion. And Korea is providing the research nuclear facility. And this year, the first nuclear power plant will have the bidding process. The bidding invitation was sent to China, Russia, France, and Korea. Next, Saudi Arabia's policies. So Korean manufacturers have to consider that Saudi Arabia is speaking different languages and it has different culture. And Saudi Arabia doesn't have any experience in building new ships, large ships. In Saudi Arabia, shipbuilding and maritime market is quite small, and per capita GDP is decreasing. And there is a need to diversify the economic structure, and you have to expect inequity and corruptions because of privatization. To address the social problems and social ills, the government is trying to promote different industries, including tourism, the cultural industry, and the petrochemical industry. So please remember, Saudi Arabia has its own issues and uncertainties. Geographically and religiously and culturally, Saudi Arabia is the hub country in MENA. Saudi Arabia has rich raw materials, so you can take advantage of them. Lastly, please take a look at government subsidies and support. Next, I'm going to talk about the process you can use to build your own company in Saudi Arabia. And joint stock company, limited liability company, and temporary commercial registration are allowed. And you need your business license for that. And you also have to submit your business license and your financial statements of the previous year. Required capital is 500,000 Saudi Arabia currency.
사우디 투자청에 우리나라의 등기부등본 같은 면허를 유지하기 위해서는
And to maintain your business license, you have to pay
사기야 CRA
60,000 riyal to Saudi Arabia's investment agency.
외국인 주주 지분율은 서비스
Let's take a look at the shareholder structure. For service industry, 100% foreign ownership is allowed.
금액에 따라서 최대 75%까지.
For retail and wholesale and trade industry, up to 75% of foreign ownership is allowed. Next, Saudi Arabia's laws and regulations. K5, and SIDF made in Saudi Arabia, and tax exempts on employment tax for foreign national employment. These are the main leading examples of Saudi Arabia's investment policies. An incentive policy is also in place. You will be given some scores when you participate in the bidding process. Saudi Aramco, if you want to provide equipment for Saudi Arabia, you have to make sure that they want 100% local content. But if it is necessary to procure equipment from other countries, this requires a special approval. Next is Natakat program. All foreign companies are required to hire a certain percentage of their employees as Saudi Arabian nationals. Made in Saudi is a financial support incentive. You will be given 15 to 20 years to pay back your loan, and 50 to 100% of your investment can be provided through a loan without any interest. Next, Saudi Arabia's taxation. First, corporate income tax. For a company under GCC, 2.5% of religious taxes are required, and for foreign companies, 20% of the net income should be paid as corporate tax. And if you are hiring foreign nationals in Saudi Arabia, you are required to pay expat fees, which is 800 Saudi riyal per month. But if you are in the manufacturing sector, the tax is exempt. And you also have to expect end-of-service allowance. If your employee worked for you for more than 5 years, you have to pay them end-of-service fee every year, which is about half of their monthly payment. And there is something called a KOSI. This is an income tax. For foreign nationals, 2% of income tax is required. If you are going to stay with your family in Saudi Arabia, you have to pay dependent fee, which is about 400 riyal per person every month. In Saudi Arabia and Korea signed double tax avoidance agreement. And value-added tax is also required. There is also excess tax imposed on tobaccos and sugary drinks. And for custom duties of chemicals is somewhere between 5.5 and 6.5%. 0.5%. Next, strategies. You have to identify what projects, construction projects are going on locally. You have to also have market intelligence. You can have either direct investment or indirect investment, and you also need to build a network for after service. And I'd like to recommend you target not only Saudi Arabia but the broader region, the so-called MENA. If you want to have approval for your products, first find as much information as possible about relevant constructions, and then identify some buyer and agents. And I recommend you develop an action plan. And please remember Aramco, Taesik, and NEOM, for example. If you want to provide equipment for them, you need to have a prior approval for your products. When you choose a local partner, try to avoid former government officials. Try to contact someone who works in the private sector. So when you need to have negotiation, please make sure you always talk to the person in charge and try to go up as possible in the chain of command. When you are about to sign a sole agent or exclusive agent, be as careful as possible. When you have to register your product under the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy, please make sure your partners are registered as well. Next, local investment. First, for local investment, gather local information. On the right side, you can see an action plan. Visit the site, have a meeting, and have a market intelligence, and work with consulting companies or investments specialists. And you can also consider government subsidies or financial support or loans, and collect information on SIDF, local banks, and localization and taxation. I'd like to recommend joint investment and cooperation with local companies in Korea and local partners in Saudi Arabia. Check the revised or updated laws and regulations as often as possible. And all promises or all arrangements should be documented. And don't be fooled by a broker.